Welcome into this episode of Coach's Corner, brought to you today by Rural Supply, oil, industrial, and plumbing materials, all for you there at Rural Supply. And we're pleased to talk with head football coach Scott Harmon, and even more pleased to talk to you after a win. Coach is finally able to go get one, and really a great second half performance down at Lawton.
Got off kind of to a little bit of a sluggish start. Got up early on them. I felt like we kind of let up after we scored so easily on them on the first drive. But give credit to them. Their old kids have to play both ways a little bit and are in really good shape. So I believe our depth kind of warmed down in the second half, and we were able to make some plays to kind of give us some breathing room in the third quarter.
You know, it's interesting on a coaching aspect. Just to ask you about this, you play teams that you look at and you're like, okay, we're even, or maybe they have more talent than we do. Then you go into a game and you're like, okay, we feel like we have the better team. How hard is it to prepare compared to games when sometimes you may have the better team to kind of keep everybody focused?
Well, we let our kids know that earlier in the week. I felt like we were extremely honest with them, told like we felt, top to bottom, we felt like we were a better team and we need to go win this ball game on the road. Didn't know how much we would win by, but we felt like if we played well, we should come out on top, and we did that. Kids played well, created turnovers, made plays, handled the whole long travel situation really well. So it was a good week for us.
Handle the heat well too, because it was hot down there.
It was really hot, extremely hot, in a little bowl area down there, and we had some injuries, so we had some kids. We had to make some adjustments. We weren't full speed last week, so I was extremely proud of the kids and the way they reacted.
Yeah, and second half, I mean that's where it was at. You guys come out just blazing the second half, and it started off offensively. I mean, you had 4 plays and 2 touchdowns your first 2 possessions. As Tay started throwing the ball around the field a little bit, and it wasn't just Gavin; he was getting it to everybody.
No, I felt like it was overall was our best, passing game. Receivers caught the ball well. AJ, Cole caught the ball well. Gavin is naturally just a big play threat all the time. But Tay was throwing the slants really well. He was putting the ball on the money, and the kids were catching it. So when we do that, it makes us hard to defend.
And it also is almost throwing creating the run because then Tay was able to get loose on some running plays, and Brody, who didn't really have a lot of room in the first half, he started getting going in the second half.
Yeah, we felt like we made an adjustment at halftime in the running game, kind of give us a little bit. They've been playing a lot of cover three and not getting out of it. But when we exposed them early in the cover three, they went to some man looks and brought an extra guy in the box. So that was giving us a little bit of fits on our run schemes. We fixed that at halftime, and you could tell because Brody came out and had a much better second half.
Yeah, and now go to the defensive side of the ball. I don't think I've ever called a game where there were 6 interceptions. In fact, that may have been what you had in a year at Oklahoma State. Now, I can't remember when you set the.
That was my good year.
Yeah, it was a Big 12 record or a Big 8 record, I think, at that time. But you think about 6 interceptions, and it wasn't one guy getting all the interceptions. 6 different guys with interceptions. That is very unique.
Yeah, all the DBs, in the back end, our outside linebacker Teagan was really good in the run game, and in the back end we had all those 4 guys, our 2 deep safeties and our 2 corners all had a pick apiece, and then Hudson got one and Lance got one as well. So we're learning, when we can't get there and get our hands on the pass, or we can get our hands up and deflect balls, and we teach that stuff kind of all the time, and it came to fruition, I should say, on that night, and kids were making plays and returning them well. So we got to learn how to block above the waist and in front when we do get a return, so we don't get those return penalties on the return game. But we're extremely pleased with the defense and their effort. Only really had one negative play all night.
Yeah, and I wanted to go back to offense and just talk about something that stood out to me. I thought wide receiver blocking was excellent in this game. I mean, it really got you a lot of first downs. Those guys, you're not getting the ball. Sometimes you got to say, I'm going to go make a play for somebody else. And I thought the down the field blocking from wide receivers was really, really good.
We did a good job of utilizing our wide receivers on the man coverage. I thought in the second half, it took us a little while to adjust, but we did make the adjustment. And then once that happened, if they got on there and give our little backs some room, it really gave them some extra yards. Did a good job of making some run, what we call YAC, yards after contact. I thought we ran hard, broke some tackles. We need to hold on to the ball better. We had 2 fumbles. I think one of them, his butt was down and he kind of relaxed a little bit. But, that is what it is. Brody's coming along. He's doing a good job for us in the run game. And I was pleased with Alonzo Big Goose when he came in and late in the second half, kind of give us a couple of first downs so we could, run some clock and get some second team kids in.
Well, and that's the next thing I wanted to bring up is you haven't had a lot of opportunities this year to get those younger guys and those guys in the second team out there. And this was a game you're able to do that quite a bit in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, we need to do that. A lot more. They'll have a JV game against Midwest City early this week, and then we get them out there and get some live reps. But anytime we can get them some reps on Friday night, those kids work hard all week long and deserve those reps.
All right, this part of the schedule, I mean, you look at Lawton, and, you felt like a better team there. But now these 2 weeks here, you got the Oklahoma City Public Schools on the other side of the Putnam City Schools. If you want to achieve what you achieved last year and have possibility to achieve something better as far as your district seating, these are the 2 weeks right here you really look at. A Friday night game against Putnam City North and then back home against Putnam City for a Thursday night game. These 2 weeks right here are very important.
Big stretch. Last week kind of solidified us a little bit to give us a be in position to do this. If we win, one of these last 2 or these next 2 ball games, we'll secure a home playoff game, which is big for us. We want to do that with 3rd or 4th, but we need to win both these games, to be real honest with you, and get in there so that we're playing at home on week 10 for a possible second seed and a bye. What I mean? That's our big goal with this freshman group or with this senior group, is to be playing at home on week 10 for a chance to beat Choctaw and get in second place in our district. So all of those are still yet in front of us, but we're going to take it a week at a time, and this will be a big one. The PC North is very aggressive defensively, have some really nice looking athletes who run to the ball well, so we'll have our work cut out for us. We just need to play a full ball game. We were closer against Lawton, but I felt like we kind of played 3 quarters, didn't play a very good second quarter in my opinion. So hopefully we can put 4 quarters together.
Yeah, and let's talk about Putnam City North. You mentioned a little bit about them right there, but talk more detail about their team. Just go offense and the defense.
Offensively, their quarterback throws it around pretty good. They'll try to utilize some speed that they've got out on the edge, and their running back does a good job of making people miss. Big up front. Defensively, man, they got some really nice looking athletes out there. Got some nice length and size, and boy, they chase the ball extremely hard. Sometimes almost too hard, and what I would consider maybe a little over aggressive. So hopefully we can expose that a little bit.
All right, just looking forward to a little cooler weather too. I mean, we're talking mid-60s at kickoff. Now, I don't like Oklahoma State having that Friday night game the same, especially for, you got a coach with Justin Rowland whose kid's on the K-State team. So, but it is what it is, and I'm sure I'm going to be doing some scoreboard watching. These guys won't. They're going to be worried about what's on the field, but it is a Friday night game, and then we turn right around. And the next 2 weeks we go on Thursday. So.
Yes, it's one of those things where fall break is coming, and the weather's starting to change a little bit. So you'll start to see some hoodies and things of that nature on the sidelines. That's always a good sign. Hopefully we can get on a little winning streak right here and take care of business for the latter part of the season.
You talk about hoodie weather. He's not even waiting. He's ready for it. It's not even in the 60s. We're 80s today, and he's got the hoodie on. So.
That's
I know you're ready for it, Coach. I know you're
always.
Ready.
It's kind of cool in my retro building back there, so I just got out of
there. All right, well, that's going to do it for today's Coach's Corner. Coach, appreciate it as always.
Thank you very much.
It's been brought to you today by Rural Supply. I want to say thanks to Chris back there behind the camera. Thanks to Coach, and we'll catch you next time on the next episode of Coach's Corner. Until then, Jordan Woodruff saying so long, and go Cats.